Good evening to all. Welcome you all to the daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy for the date 3rd August 2023 for the news which came in Indian Express newspaper. Okay, let's get into the today's current affairs session. First news is adopt World Health Organization's standard good manufacturing practices. Government sets deadline for farmers. It is following some incidents of death in several countries which is linked to the contaminated India's manufacturing drugs. There are certain instances that people from other countries have consumed India's manufactured drugs and they have been died. And so the issue has been raised by several member countries to India, as a result of which the government has set a deadline for implementation of good manufacturing practice, which the India has amended in 2018, so that the manufacturing practice are in tune with the international standard that is set by the World Health Organization. So, since the news revolves around the good manufacturing practices, let's discuss about what does this good manufacturing practices is. It is the aspect of quality assurance that ensures that medical products are consistently produced and controlled to the quality standards appropriate to their intended use and as required by the product specification. And the good manufacturing practices defines quality measures for both production as well as the quality control. It defines general measures to ensure that the process necessary for production and testing are clearly defined, validated, reviewed and documented. So that the quality in the production process as well as the testing process is maintained. So this is what the good manufacturing practices is about, and it has been set by World Health Organizations, and the countries who are part of the World Health Organization are also adapting the good manufacturing practices in their own respective country. A manufacturer requires good manufacturing practices certificate from WHO so that he becomes eligible to export the products to other countries. And the good manufacturing process also has legal components. What it is it covers the responsibilities for distribution, contract manufacturing and testing, and it also covers responses to products that has some defects and the complaints that is raised against those products. So this is what the good manufacturing practices according to WHO is. So since the news is about pharmaceutical companies and their drugs which is produced in India, let's discuss about the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization. It is the drug control authority for discharging functions assigned to central government under Drugs and Cosmetic Act. It has regulatory control over the import of drugs, and also it has regulatory control over approval of new drugs and clinical trials in India, and it approves certain license as central license approving authority is exercised by CDSCO headquarters. The CDSO headquarters, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization headquarters, is the licensing authority in certain cases, and it is under the drug regulating authority is under the Health and Family Welfare Ministry. So this is the important details related to the drug regulatory authority of India. So what we needed to study further is we should know about the Drugs and Cosmetic Acts 1940. And then we should also know about the Drug Consultative Committee, Drug Technical Advisory Board. Third, we should know about ICMR. Fourth is we should know about the Quality Council of India, how their members and as well as the chairperson are elected, and what is the purpose for which the council has been formed. These are all the things which we needed to know while studying the Quality Council of India, and what are all the standards being set by Quality Council of India in relation to the products that is manufactured or distributed to the consumers. So a question from Joshimath: as the mountains are turning into places unfit for habitation, where will the mountain dwellers will go? This is the news article related to Joshimath. As we all know that the Joshimath topography is right now sinking because of the landslide activity of the topography. What author has said that most Himalayan sites are undergoing violative development activity. For example, in Joshimath, there is no account, and the author has raised some questions in relation to the development activity that is taking place in Himalayan region. The first is there is no accountability fixed in the development activity. For example, in the case of Joshimath sinking, many expert committees has said development projects have been the reason for many disasters happen. For example, floods of 2013 as well as 21 in Uttarakhand has happened because of the hydroelectric power station that is present in the Himalayan region. And there is no comprehensive report related to cause, extent as well as future threat of the land subsidence in the Joshimath, so that those people, those who are living in the land, does not know what the future holds for them. So their day-to-day life becomes very anxiety as well as restless, and they do not know what will be happening in the near future. And then there is lack of inclusive rehabilitation policy. Why it is called lack of inclusive rehabilitation policy is no policy take care of the involuntary displacement. Involuntary displacement means people those who are belonging to particular topography wanted to live there only, but because of certain natural or man-made disaster they are forced to migrate to other places which they doesn't want to do. Such kind of movement from one place to another is called as involuntary displacement. So there is no clear-cut policy, the rehabilitation policy for the people those who are involuntarily moving because of this kind of disasters. And fourth is there is lack of adequate compensatory mechanism. The compensatory mechanism does not takes into account the social, cultural, political, economical as well as ecological values that is present in the region, as a result of which their only the unidimensional view, that is economical view of the disaster is being accounted, so that the compensatory mechanism is also based upon the economic dimension of the disaster. So these are all the questions being raised by the author. In relation to the disasters that is happening in the Himalayan region, especially Joshimath. So let's discuss about the infrastructure activity, which is one of the main reason for the 2021 flood in Uttarakhand. That is Tapovan Vishnughat Development Project. It is a 520 megawatts runoff river hydroelectric project. It is constructed by NTPC, that is National Thermal Power Corporation. It is constructed in Dhauli Ganga River. The project is located in the downstream of Alaknanda. This Tapovan Vishnughat Development Project, as I said, is the major cause for the 2021 flood that happened in Uttarakhand. Okay, let's discuss about the Ravi Chopra committee, which was formed by ministry to examine the proposed hydroelectric project in the Alaknanda as well as Bhagirathi basin. The committee, after doing some field work as well as research in the development activity that is taking place in the Alaknanda as well as Bhagirathi basin, the committee has concluded that certain projects will have an irreversible impact on the ecology of the region, said by Ravi Chopra committee of 2013. So this is the main expert committee as well as the important infrastructure project that has appeared recently in the news in relation to the Joshimath as well as the 2021 flood in Uttarakhand. So what we needed to study further is we should know about the Himalayan geography. Himalayan geography means not only land, it's about soil, it's about vegetation, it's about flora and fauna, it's about the national park and wildlife sanctuaries, it's about the tribal people, those who are dependent on the region and their economic activity. Geography influences the kind of economic activity in the particular region, not only for tribal people but also for other non-tribal peoples. What kind of activities has been performed in Himalayan region, we should be knowing about them also. Second is we should know about the Ganges river. Third is we should know about BP Das as well as Vinod Tare committee in relation to studying the developmental project in Himalayan region. Fourth is we should know about the national mission for sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem. How Aadhaar is seeking to use artificial intelligence to tackle bank payment frauds. UIDAI has turned to artificial intelligence system as more frauds related to Aadhaar enabled payment system is taking place. It includes developing technology around fingerprinting as well as facial recognition. The common modus operandi of AIPS, that is Aadhaar enabled payment system based fraud, is involvement of banking correspondent. Banking correspondent are the agent of the particular bank. Those are the person will be acting as the micro ATM. That is, they will be having the facial fingerprinting recognition machine as well as facial recognition machine. So they will be going to the villages where people, those who are having the Aadhaar card, by producing the Aadhaar details as well as the bank account details, they could able to do some basic transaction, banking transaction with the banking correspondent. What the banking correspondent is doing is, for example, if a person from rural area is approaching him to, for example, consider him as A and the banking correspondent is B. If he is giving his Aadhaar as well as bank account details to banking correspondent to withdraw some 500 rupees, means the banking correspondent will enter higher amount of money which the a person A has asked for. For example, he will be entering rupees 1000 in the device, but he will be giving back the 500 rupees which the A has asked for, and the remaining 500 rupees he will be taking it. Since A is the person from rural area, he does not have any kind of awareness relation to the receipts that needed to be taken after collecting the money from the micro ATM or banking correspondent. So since he doesn't have any awareness related to the receipts that we needed to collect after withdrawing the money from banking correspondent, the amount will be he has asked for 500 rupees, but he has entered 1000 rupees in the ATM micro ATM machine which he is having, and he will be giving 500 rupees. Banking correspondent will be taking the other 500 rupees which the person A doesn't know. So this kind of frauds have been happening in the rural areas. So in order to and why they are using the AI system in fingerprinting and facial recognition is, most of the people are cloning the common people's fingerprint as well as facial recognition, facial identity, so that they are morphing one person's identity with another and they are withdrawing the money from other people's bank account. So this kind of frauds have been taking place right now across the country. So to overcome it, they are going to use AI system. So what is this Aadhaar enabled payment system is about? The Aadhaar enabled payment system is a payment service that allows a bank customer to use Aadhaar to access her bank account and perform basic transactions like balance inquiry, cash withdrawal, and other services like cash deposits, mobile number update, and mini statement, and Aadhaar to Aadhaar fund transfer. It is developed by National Payment Corporation of India. And about what AI technology is going to be used in Aadhaar enabled payment system is, and the AI enabled Aadhaar AEPS system is developed by UIDAI. It uses a combination of finger minutate and finger image to check the liveness of fingerprint being captured. It is small, precise, minutate is small, precise identity in the person's fingerprint, so that we could be able to easily capture the person, those who are using the fingerprint while withdrawing or doing banking activity in relation to the Aadhaar enabled payment system. So what is the payment fraud that is happening in India? According to Parliamentary Standing Committee of Finance headed by Jayant Singh, the Member of Parliament, the committee has said that the volume of the financial crime reported in the country went up from 2.62 lakh in 2020-21 to 6.94 lakh in 2022. The payment related frauds in India rose from a little more than 7 lakh in 2020-21 to close to 20 lakh in 22-23. Due to limited awareness of cyber fraud, a significant number of people does not know the channel or media through which they could be able to report the cyber fraud that has happened to them. And since the payment fraud is taking place mostly in the rural areas where most of the people don't have any awareness related to the cyber related fraud that is happening around them. According to the data from Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, that is I4C, the parliamentary committee said that nearly 6,94,424 complaints related to financial fraud has been reported, but only 2.6% of these cases was registered for FIR. So this is the pathetic condition right now. Since the news is related to Aadhaar enabled payment system and then integrating the AI technology with Aadhaar enabled payment system to increase the effectiveness and efficiency in the fingerprinting as well as facial recognition technique. So these are all the components, particularly the Aadhaar enabled payment system is being introduced by National Payment Corporation of India. So let's discuss about what does this National Payment Corporation NPCI is. It is an umbrella organization for operating retail payments and settlement system in India. It is an initiative of RBI as well as Indian Banks Association under Payment and Settlement Act 2007. It has been incorporated as not-for-profit company under the provision of Section 25 of Companies Act 1956, with the intention to provide infrastructure to entire banking system in India for physical as well as electronic payment and settlement system. This is what the objective for which it was created. And also we should know about Unique Identity Authority of India, because they are the producers of Aadhaar in India. The Unique Identity Authority of India is a statutory body established under provision of Aadhaar Targeted Delivery of Financial and Other Subsidies, Benefits and Service Act 2016. It is functioning under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Unique Identification Authority of India was created to issue unique identification numbers, the 12-digit Aadhaar numbers, named as Aadhaar, to all the residents of India. The unique identification number has to be robust enough to eliminate duplicate and fake identities, as well as verifiable and authenticable in a way, as well as in an easy as well as cost effective way. This is the objective the Unique Identification Authority of India for creating unique identification number in India. So So what we needed to study further is we should know about what are all the NPCI products, what are all the important retails payment as well as settlement mechanism being introduced by the National Payment Corporation of India. If you are visiting the National Payment Corporation of India website, we could able to access the all the important products being introduced by them. And also we should know about the digital wallet. Third is we should know about IMPS as well as NEFT's fund transfer in India. Fourth is, since the news is also having a technology in it, that is artificial intelligence. So we should know about the artificial intelligence. What does this artificial intelligence is, and what are all the applications, and what is the current trend that is happening in the artificial intelligence. If there is any kind of update or new finding have been happened in the artificial intelligence means we should know. Home loan EMI jumps 20% in 2 years. The affordable housing segments of EMI for home loan for a customer rose by nearly 20% in the last 2 years, and its interest payment is exceeding the principal loan amount. During the pandemic, there was the real estate sector was highly very got impacted negatively because most of the people were hesitant to buy the houses. But after the pandemic, some time passes through, now the consumers are getting confident, then they are applying for EMI home loan to buy the own house for them. So this is what the news is about. Since the news revolves around equated monthly installment, that is EMI of the home loan customer has been increased by 20%. We should know about what does this equated monthly installment is. EMI is the fixed amount a borrower pays a lender every month. It is used by customer to take a loan to cover the immediate cash requirement. EMI amount consists of both principal as well as interest amount. RBI regulates this equated monthly installment so that it will be regulating in a way that the money supply in the economy is controlled. How the RBI will be regulating the EMI in India so that the money supply will be controlled is, money supply in the economy is controlled is, for example, if they are reducing the minimum month that is required to pay the minimum month that is required to pay the loan amount will be reduced, because by reducing the time required for finishing the EMI will lead to increase in the amount that is paid by the customer each month. So if the amount that is paid by the customer in each month is very high, means then the customer will be very hesitant to buy the loan from the bank. As a result of which, the credit disbursement by the bank will get reduced, and then the money supply in the economy will get reduced. So if they wanted to boost the money supply in the economy, means the RBI will be extending the time that a particular customer required to pay the monthly installment. By increasing the amount of time required to pay the monthly installment, means then the correspondingly monthly installment paid by the customer will get reduced, as a result of which more number of customer will be interested in buying the loan products from the bank, and the credit disbursement will get increased. As a consequence of it, the money supply in the economy also will get increased. This is how the RBI will regulate the equated monthly installment to regulate the money supply in country. So the equated monthly installments for floating interest rate will be of two types. One is floating interest rate. What is the floating interest rate? It is the interest. It is interest which keeps going up or down through the tenure of the debt, depending upon the economic as well as market situation. And floating interest rate uses reference rates as the base, so that it could be increased or decreased based upon the reference rate. What does the most commonly used the reference rate are? US prime rate, the interest on US treasury bills, federal fund rate, as well as LIBOR, that is London Interbank Offered Rate. And in the case of fixed interest rate, means the interest rate which will remain constant throughout the tenure of the loan is called as fixed interest rate. And let's discuss about the repo rate as well as the reverse repo rate. Because RBI monetary policy will be fixing the interest rate in the economy, that is the repo rate in the economy, which have the impact on the loan that is given by the bank to the customers. So what is the repo rate? It is the rate at which the central bank of the country lends money to commercial bank in the event of any shortfall of the funds. It is the short time. It is for short term period only, not for long term. And reverse repo rate is the interest rate at which the central bank borrows from the commercial bank. It is also for the short term period only. So what we needed to study further is we should know about the RBI's monetary policy in India, and we should know about the affordable housing scheme in India. Third, we should know about the Federal Reserve's rate hike and its impact in India. In 2 years, psychiatric cases in the paramilitary is up by 38%. A report submitted on the parliament table by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs has said that total psychiatric patient in the Central Armed Police Force has increased from 3,584 in 2020 to 4,940 in 2022. Post-pandemic, the number of persons opting for voluntary retirement has also seen a massive spike. Some pathetic personal management issues going on the Central Armed Police Force. What the government has said is that they have taken some initiative to increase the transparency in the transfer as well as leaves of CFPF Jawans, and then they have taken some initiative to increase the living conditions for troops, and adequate recreation, entertainment, sport, etc. has been created for the persons, those who are working on the field. So what is the Central Armed Police Force is about? The Central Armed Police Force refers to 7 security force in India under the authority of Ministry of Home Affairs. The 7 security force are the Assam Rifles, the Border Security Force, the Central Industrial Security Force, Central Reserve Police Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, National Security Guard, Shastra Seema Pal. And the Border Security Force, BSF, is the paramilitary force, and they guard the borders of India, Pakistan as well as India, Bangladesh. And then the Assam Rifles. 1 minute, there's some technical glitches. And the Assam Rifles will be guarding the Indo-Myanmar border. Similarly, the Indo-Tibetan border force will be guarding the Indo-China border. And the Shastra Seema ball is now spread along the international border across Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. So, each and every armed force will be bordering different borders, and the industrial security force will be guarding the important industries in India. Similarly, each and every armed force is having a unique specialty which we needed to know, and each of the force has its own cadre of officers, but they will be headed by the IPS officers who are recruited by UPSC. So let's discuss about the modernization plan 4 for the Central Armed Police Force, which is being introduced by Ministry of Home Affairs. The modernization of Plan 4 for Central Armed Police Force is the continuation of the modernization Plan 3 for CAPFs. It is being implemented by Ministry of Home Affairs. The implementation of the scheme will equip Central Armed Police Force to improve the overall operational efficiency preparedness, which will positively impact the internal security scenario in the country. This would bolster the government's ability to address the challenge being faced on the international border, that is LOC, LAC, line of control as well as line of actual control, as well as in the different theatres such as areas affected by left-wing extremism, Union territories of Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh and insurgency affected northeastern states. So this is the result which the government will be achieving by implementing the modernization plan 4 for the CAPFs, which is being implemented by Ministry of Home Affairs. And what we needed to study further is we should know about the police reforms in India. Second is we should know about the line of control as well as line of actual control in India. Third is we should know about each armed forces speciality, their origin, their functionality and the current status. Fourth is we should know about the constitutional provision in relation to security for India. So these are all the other things which we needed to know. So okay, let's discuss about the UPSC prelims question which was asked in relation to the news which we have seen right now. In the context of Indian economy, non-financial debt includes which of the following? Housing loans owned by household. Yes. Amount outstanding on credit card and the treasury bills. All the three are the example of non-financial debt. So the answer is option D. Consider the following statement. Aadhaar metadata cannot be stored for more than 3 months. No. The answer is it is 6 months. State cannot enter into any contract with private corporations for sharing Aadhaar data. Yes, it is correct. Aadhaar is mandatory for obtaining insurance product. No, it is not necessary. Fourth is the statement is correct. The Aadhaar is mandatory for getting benefits funded out of Consolidated Fund of India? So the answer is option B, 2 and 4. Okay, let's look into UPSC mains question. Analyze internal security threats and trans-border crime along Myanmar, Bangladesh and Pakistan border, including line of control. Also, discuss the role played by various security forces in this regard. 15 mark, 250 words. I want those students, those who are watching the current affairs session online, please do comment answer point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board, so that we could able to know the viewpoints of each other, as a result of which we could able to grow as a whole. So please do comment. So thank you students. Please do like, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will be receiving the daily current affair sessions notification and any other important videos that will be brought in the daily in the near future by the Ganesh IAS Academy. Thank you.